I'm recording this real quick. I snuck into the office before work, and I can use the fancy camera that they have here. Check this out. It's got this beautification mode. Beautiful. Not beautiful. Beautiful. Not beautiful. Who decides this? So a little intro before we get into this rematch that I have with Sam Sutherland. We did this after we talked about the game that we played in the qualing, so this is very, very fresh on our minds. If you haven't seen that video, there'll be another link in the description or on the screen or something. Go and watch that. That'll be a really good introduction to what we're about to play, and as well as being just like a really cool piece of content. So go and check that out. That's on Sam's channel. If you've seen that, you may continue. When we recorded this, we were trying a new format to see if this is a useful way to communicate what's going on in our spaghetti brains. Before we take a turn cycle, we'll mute each other. We'll talk through what our turn is going to be, how the last turn played out, and then we'll unmute. So we're not able to hear each other's thoughts. We've covered up the section of our screen kind of where our arsenal is, and so that means we can show the camera a bit more clearly what we're working with. We do it pretty well for the first 2 turns, and then we kind of get caught up in the game and abandon that. But we do talk through each of our turns, and it's quite interesting going back and seeing just how wrong some of my thoughts were during the game. Otherwise, I'll let the you know. Sweet, over to you. Do you want to? I'll mute and you can talk about your opening hand.
Sounds good. Right, so here in my opening hand, I've drawn into Spark of Genius, which is one of the things you can see turn 0 because it means you always can get an item. The problem with playing an item against Lexi is they will be able to arsenal a free card on their turn. On my turn, because they'll be loading an arrow in with Voltaire or anything. Yeah, an arrow. What that means is if I play this out immediately, which I might do, is it means they'll be able to load. And even though I have an arsenal and a free item, they have a free arsenal. They have their whole hand. And they've also been able to cycle out whatever they wanted by pitching into Voltaire. So a theoretical line I can do here is boost 0 to 60 first, coming in for 5. Then load pistol, play the spark, and then arsenal a card. That would take 2 cards from their hand, use up the pounder counter. I don't really want to use up the counter here, so what I'm going to do is just play the spark raw. Pitching for 4, loading the pistol first, and then arsenaling the 0 to 60, and then whatever they get to arsenal is just, they get it. Hey, one, load pistol. I'll pay 4, play spark.
Oh, we've just talked about this.
2. Then I'll move to my end phase. Is there anything you would like to do?
So you got a pounder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should probably not let you do that. So this is an interesting one. Sam's got a pounder out, which is annoying, but it does give us a pretty safe avenue to use Voltaire to get a early arsenal. Ice Vein is a much more threatening on hit. It would be coming in last because it's not going to have go again. Alternatively, I'm also worried about pitching the ice card that I have because this is a guaranteed fuse. So I think I want to pitch the Blizzard Bolt to get the Ice Vein and Arsenal. Make sure I've got my fuse card and the 3 of a kind. We should be good.
How would you like to cut my deck?
Oh, just it's good. We don't need to cut from now.
Cool.
I trust you. Oh, so yeah, I'll Voltaire and Ice Vein and pass priority back.
Cool. I'll draw 4, pass to you.
Sweet. I will take Tunic. And what are we going? Okay, cool. We will just go 3 of a kind.
Solid.
Voltaire, choosing go again. Fuse. So Blizzard Bolt, this is a red one. 5 on damage frostbite. Go again. Fuse with a cold snap.
Yep. So on damage frostbite. And you've also got an Ice Vein coming up without going again at the end of the turn. I'm going to block 3 here with Velocity, taking 2.
Just thinking on the trigger there.
Yep.
That's all good. You take 2.
Cool.
Guess we should have a life counter. Sweet. So you take 2, you get a frostbite.
Yep.
And we will go again. It's a hamstring shot. 5 on damage frostbite. On hit, your next attack costs 1.
I'll block 3.
Just thinking on the shock charmers. Sweet. I will use shock charmers twice.
Yep.
So
taking 4.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. You get 3 extra frostbites.
Yep.
Takes you up to 4.
Yep.
And I'll go to end.
Sure.
Sweet. Over to yours.
My first attack costs an additional 1 as well.
Yep, and you have 4 frostbites.
I'll pay 5 and shoot for 2.
No way!
Without 2 damage.
I will block the second.
Pass to you.
Sweet. So the last turn was a little bit interesting. You notice I didn't shoot the Ice Vein. Sam had already kind of declared that his turn wasn't going to do anything. And so I could pretty effectively end it on the spot by giving him 4 frostbites and the hamstring shot on hit. Shooting the Ice Vein is only going to let him block it out. I'd rather have the Ice Vein in arsenal for my next 3 of a kind turn. And yeah, lock in that damage with the shock charm as well. I know that arrow is hitting. So here we go. We have another one.
So on that turn, I had a bit of an unfortunate time. I was thinking about blocking from the start. The reason I didn't is because I saw the Chilling Ice Vein in the back, and I thought that would come through fused at the end of the turn. And if that even one of those comes through, that takes a whole card if I haven't blocked that attack. So I was kind of thinking throughout that turn, the frostbites are going to be annoying, but they're not going to end my turn. If he manages to shock charmers a few times, it's going to be a bit annoying. Looking back on it, because the Blizzard Bolt was coming through and there was shockies available, etc., I think I should have just full blocked from the start, which would have meant that I would have taken 6 less damage because of both of those shock charmers activations. And all it meant was that I wouldn't have shot for 2 at the end of the turn, which is a low value play regardless. So thinking back on it, given the Blizzard Bolt was coming through and the hamstring shot, probably should have blocked from the start. But again, it just depends on what my opponent does.
Okay, we took to 2. You know it.
There it is.
Here it is again. Okay. So we're going to go Voltaire once. Shoot the Ice Vein with go again. Fusing with an Arctic Incarceration.
5.
5.
I'll block 6 with Harpoon and Velocity.
Sure. Let's go. +1. This is a Bolton shot for 5 with the same on damage as Chilling Ice Vein.
I'll block 6 with Bios and Octane.
Sure. Now this is interesting. I will run the Ice Vein and I'll fuse it because you already know about this.
Sure. No blocks.
Yeah, 4's all good.
Sure.
You take 4?
Yep.
Cool. Over to yours.
My turn. I will pass back.
Yep. Cool. We'll tick and we'll have a little chat, shall we? So yeah, we drew the other 3 of a kind, and this is a little bit faster than we want it. Obviously, stoked to see it, but we'd rather have it 1 turn later. We want to shoot 3 arrows off our 3 of a kinds. Sam dumped his hand pretty quickly that round, so I'm worried he's trying to fatigue us. So this turn, hopefully we can do enough damage just with the Arctic Incarceration that we have to set up a card arsenal with the 3 of a kind next to it. And yeah, have a bigger turn next turn to take on some fatigue shenanigans.
So on my turn, I drew into a hand of entirely reds, and the Chilling Ice Vein came through fused. Became a pretty simple call of you just have to block the damage that comes through, because as soon as one hits, you're gonna lose a card from your hand anyway. So if you just block with all your cards before stuff comes through, you're gonna take some damage, but there's not really anything you can do about it. So yeah, just blocking with my whole hand there. I had no frostbites on that turn, so a lot of people may think, why not just boost this 0 to 60 in Arsenal to come in for 7 damage on my turn? The reason for that is having a 0 to 60 in Arsenal can really power up following turns, such as this hand just here where I drew into High Octane. That 0 for 3 now turns into a 1 for 5 when I have Octane active, because I have a pistol shot in addition to that because of the action point it gains for me. So assuming minimal to no disruption on this turn, it's much better to have the 0 to 60 in Arsenal at this point.
So use Lexi. You get a frostbite. I'm going to say load in fatigue shot. Give it go again. So this is 5. Go again on hit, halve your next attack. Rounded down.
No blocks.
That's what we like to hear. Thinking on the shark. That's fine. You take 5.
Cool.
This is in effect. And I'll play the Arctic Incarceration.
Cool.
So you got to 4 frostbites. And then I'll use Voltaire. So there's a red Chilling Ice Vein in my arsenal. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep.
And I'll arsenal pass.
Sure.
It's pounding time.
It is. All right, so I'm going to pitch 2 blues, pay 5 resources to play High Octane. I'm going to use this dice to represent.
Cool. So the fatigue shot text is, oh no, that's not a hamstring shot. What am I talking about? You're good. You're good.
Yep. So I'm going to use this dice to represent action points and this counter for pitch. I'll draw a card. Play BIOS update into 0 to 60, coming in for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boosting. It's not an item, but it has go again.
Okay, 10 go again?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not bad, eh? How many cards do you have in hand?
Just 1.
1 card, 1 resource floating.
Correct.
Okay. So the base power of the 0 to 60 should get halved?
Yeah, so base power of 0 to 60 is 3, so it goes down to 2 because it's rounded up, so it's actually 9.
9, cool. Not sure. I'm going to give you 6 here.
Yep. Taking 3.
Sure.
I'm going to activate Teklo Foundry Heart, so pay 1, banish top 2. Spark and T-Bone, 2 resources. I'll use one to load pistol and shoot for 2. 1 action point remains.
2 is good.
Cool. And then I will do it again.
2 is good.
Cool. Then I'll Arsenal pass.
Cool. Cool. All right. So that's the first charge out of these pounders gone. Sam was using his heart, so it looks like he's not trying to fatigue me. He's happy to put some damage back across the board, which is a relief. So I chose to keep the lake as an option, and I can also 3 of a kind off the tunic. I think I just want to lake. I really should have thought about this before I blocked. Maybe keeping the drill shot was the better move here. I think I'm happy just to lake and see how hard he's going into the boost plan. Hopefully the lake is enough to stunt him. And off a 3 of a kind, we can often stick the lake for 2 turns anyway.
Right, so on that turn, quite a few frostbites came through. However, I had a hand that was 3 blues and a high octane, and I had a yellow 0 to 60 in arsenal. So regardless of the amount of disruption that came through, I could still have a decent turn because of the amount of blues in my hand. Also with the fatigue shot coming through, because of the base power of 0 to 60 being 3 in yellow, all I lost because of the fatigue shot was 1 damage, because it took the 3 down to a 2, because it's half rounded up. So I wasn't fussed about taking the fatigue shot, and I do need to fire back damage at some point. I am in a bit of a rough spot at the moment, given how the first few turns went, but hopefully with double pounder out, I can make it back. The draw from Octane was pretty unfortunate for me. Bias Update is a 0 to 3. It doesn't boost, which means I don't get that additional advantage that I could have gotten, say, if it was like a 0 to 60. Otherwise, I would have pitched this additional blue in my hand, which I've now dumped into the arsenal because it's better arsenal. So a bit unfortunate, but hopefully we can bring it back.
So my turn is just give you a lake.
Cool.
Over to you.
I will pitch blue high-speed impact for red high-speed impact. Boosting. Coming in for 8. Go again on hit dominate. 1 float.
1 float, 2 cards in hand?
2 cards in hand, 1 in arsenal.
Okay. And this is on hit dominate, right?
Yep.
I'm going to show you 6.
Yep. Take 2. I'll pitch another blue high-speed impact for another red high-speed impact. Boosting, coming in for 4 dominate on hit dominate.
With 2 float?
2 float.
And no cards in hand.
None in hand, 1 in arsenal.
1 in arsenal, 2 float. Ouch. 4 is good.
Sure. Then I'm going to play Zipper Hit for 3. Not going to boost, just 3.
3's good.
Pass to you.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that was a rough turn. Going to play out the 3 of a kind this turn. I kept 2 ice cards. I'm worried that we saw 4 in a row. So yeah, kept 2 ice cards to make sure that we can keep the lake around. Not going to play the Winter's Bite. Just want to make sure that the lake sticks around. Didn't seem to do that much. Sam's running a lot of blues. But hopefully we find 2 arrows. Either way, now is definitely go time. We've used up our life total to try and get to this point. So hopefully the lake is impactful next turn and we can put out some disruption this turn.
So that turn went pretty well for us in terms of the whole turn cycle. We drew into 2 blues. All Diggle did was play out a Channel Lake Frigid, which is usually quite bad for us. And it essentially always means we're not allowed to shoot pistol because it costs 2 to load and 1 to shoot. So that takes a whole card. But my hand was 2 1 costs and 2 blues, and then another 1 cost in Arsenal. It meant we could play out all of those still while under the effects of Channel. And it came down to perfect pitch, which was really nice. If he had had a blizzard there, I wouldn't have been able to play anything past the first attack. But again, went pretty well for us given no damage was dealt to us. So we're kind of bringing it back a little bit. You'll see me on this turn. I'll look at Diggle's pitched cards to see if the Channel Lake stays around for the following turn. Because if it does, it would affect how we block, and I would be more inclined to block further if the Channel Lake is staying around, because my cards are less efficient if it stays around.
Use Tunic. We have a kind.
Solid.
Okay. Let's go. Go again. No fuse. 5.
No blocks.
Sweet. You take 5.
Yep.
Voltaire. Go again. Fuse. 4. Go again. On damage, just gotta pay 1.
Fuse with Red Arctic.
Sorry, red. The blue Winter's Bite.
Blue Winter's Bite. Cool. I'll block with blue T-Bone and Crown.
Sure. Perfect.
Yep.
Cool. Was that from hand or Arsenal?
Hand.
Cool. So you have 3 cards left.
Yep.
Okay. We will run. Do we want to shoot you with the Ice Vein? Yeah. We'll go Ice Vein Fuse. So this is 5 on damage. Discard or pay 1. And it has the same on damage as the previous one.
Yep. I'll block 6 with yellow Zipper and 0.
Sure. Go to end.
Sure.
Lexi's 2.
My turn. I'll move to Arsenal.
Yep, that's good.
Cool. So that turn, Diggle did something incredibly sneaky. He pitched an ice card to load a blizzard bolt, giving it go again, and then shot the blizzard bolt without fusing. What this meant was there was an ice card in pitch. However, I was under the assumption he did not have any further ice cards in his hand. And what that meant was because there were no further ice cards in his hand, the channel was not going to stay. The blizzard bolt wasn't going to do any on hits to me, which meant that I was encouraged not to block. So I decided not to block that first attack. And then he followed up with a chilling ice vein, pitching another ice card and fusing with a third ice card. So in fact, he had more ice cards. And this meant that the blizzard bolt on hit was coming through, the channel was going to stick around, and my turn wasn't going to do anything if I kept it. So I was forced to then start blocking. On the first attack, I chose to use the Crown of Providence to dump the Teklo Founder to the bottom of the deck because that card doesn't block, and it's not a good card to have in Arsenal. So I wanted to have a card that was able to block, or a bit better when the next Ice Vein came through. So I dumped that to the bottom, perfect. I think overblocking the chilling, and then use 2 cards to block the next chilling.
Cool, so that was a bit cute. So I said no fuse on the Blizzard Bolt to make him think that there wasn't going to be a second ice card from channel, so I think we scored some damage there. I think shooting the Ice Vein right at the end was a mistake. It's really important to shoot 3 arrows every now and then, but he had the blocks up for it, so there was really no point. His turn wasn't doing anything with the lake in place anyway. So in hindsight, should have kept the Ice Vein, that's fine. We're just going to continue on. Cool. Real tick. I'll use Lexi. You get a frostbite. And I'll run out the Winter's Bite. Discard a pay one.
Pay one with Teklo Call?
Sure. Pitch Yellow Blizzard Bolt to say +1 on Bolden shot. So 5, go again on hit reload.
And you have 1 float?
1 float, 2 cards.
1 float, 2 cards. No blocks.
All good. You take 5.
Yep.
On hit reload. And I'll sleep that for 5.
Oh no, my hero ability.
Yeah, that's it. Put your pounder in the bin for a turn.
No blocks.
Cool. You take 5. Yours.
Sure.
1 card in Arsenal. Lake dies. So yeah, just 1 frostbite.
Pitch. Blue zipper hit for rough. Blue zipper hit for red zipper hit, coming in for 9. Go again. 1 float.
Okay. And you have 2 cards.
1 in hand, 1 in arsenal.
Okay. I'll give it 3. Take 6.
Sure. I'll play blue 0 to 60. Going in for 2.
2's good.
Play pulse wave.
Oh.
X is 3.
X is 3, so you see all 3?
Yep.
So there's a red Bolton shot, a blue Winter's Bite, and a blue Icy Encounter.
Interesting. Is Icy Encounter on hit frostbite?
That's right.
And blocked with blue headshot, was it?
Previously, I've blocked with a blue headshot.
Yeah.
So this is, blue icy, blue winters, and red Bolton shot.
I'll choose the Bolton shot.
Okay. So take one.
Yep. Then I'll pass to you.
Very good. Sweet. I'm going to take before I forget, and then we'll have a chat.
All right.
Pulse wave harpoon. I should really start playing around that. I think I would take the 3 here just because Sam's life is so low. Being able to shoot the Bolton shot into the Frostlock is pretty threatening. Now I've just got the Frostlock. I think I still have to shoot the Frostlock, which makes him drop a card. I don't know how I can do this, actually. That harpoon, man, really ruins my day. I could go Perch Grapplers into Frostlock, Fuse into Winter's Bite to pull something. Otherwise, Sam's... Luckily, the Pounders have gone. But yeah, he can really hit us. All he needs is 1 card, and he'll put his heart in front of the Frostlock. So this could hurt.
So on that turn, I was given a frostbite, which meant that I was given the option of either my zip hit 0 to 60 pulse wave as is, boosting 3 times, choosing X is 3, which means I get to see the rest of Deagle's hand and choose a card from it to block with. I had an alternative line there where I pitch. I still pitch the same card, but after my first boost, I activate Foundry Heart, banishing 2 cards, gaining a resource, which means I can then pistol on the end of the turn. However, if I do that, the Pulse Wave actually sees the break in the chain caused by the Foundry Heart and then only sees 2 boosts on the active chain, which means that I'm only allowed to see 2 cards from Diggle's hand and choose 1 to block with. In terms of what actually happened, this would have meant that I still would have forced him to block with the card because Winter's Bite and Icy Encounter both block for 2, and he had to show me 1 of them. But he would have gotten to choose which card of those he got to block with. So overall, I exceed the X equals 3 value of the Pulse Wave higher than just an additional 2 damage on the turn. So we'll see if that comes back to bite me, but honestly, hard to say at the moment. I think taking the Bolton shot from his hand should prevent a good amount of damage on this turn.
There are 2 lines. One is really dangerous.
Nice.
Can we afford that? Do you have an arsenal?
No. 4 cards in hand, no arsenal.
Cool. I'm going to say Frostlock, Fuse with a Winter's Bite.
Okay.
2 for
that. So this means
so
activated. 4? Yep. Activated abilities cost 1 more this turn.
That's right.
I can't play 0 cost cards.
Play or pitch, 0 cost.
Play or pitch. Coming in for 4. Is it go again? No.
No go again.
And you have a Winter's Bite blue.
Yep.
I'll block with Blue Courier and Foundry Heart for 5.
Sweet, that's good. Pass to you.
Sure. Start with 0 to 60 red for 4. Boosting, go.
I'll give you 3 with a red drill shot. Take 1.
Sure. I'll play 0 to 60 yellow for 3. Go again.
3. You have 1 card in hand.
1 in hand.
No in arsenal.
No arsenal.
3's good.
Sure. Then I'll play out Teklo Core.
Very nice. So no blue here, so we can't put a lot of action on the field. We can give him the incarceration and set up a big next turn with a pulse and an endless in arsenal. Let's just hope he doesn't have too much steam. The Teklo Core is really annoying me. I'm about to give him 3 frostbites and he's not really going to care.
So that turn wasn't too bad for me. It was just a Frostlock coming through because I took the Bolton shot. So definitely the right call there. I played out a free hand. I needed to block the Frostlock because the entire rest of my hand cost 0. So I chose to block with the Courier, although I was considering playing it with the Goliath for 4 on hit plus 3, which would have taken more cards, or at least Chinook or Purge Grapplers from Diggle. And also, I'm not sure with this low life totals, I'm going to find a target for my Goliath Gauntlet. But I did actually make a mistake in that turn in playing the second 0 to 60. What I generally do with 0 to 60 is Arsenal 1 if I'm just using it in the previous turn, because it powers up any Octanes I see in the following turn. As you see here, I've actually drawn Octane, and I was kicking myself when I did, because I'm like, I should have kept that 0 to 60 in Arsenal for the Octane turn. But also that line can get very punished if Diggle then plays out a channel like Frigid, because then it costs way too much to play the Octane and the 0 to 60. So overall, I could have played a little bit better to Arsenal that instead, but not the worst.
So we'll tick. Lexi reveals ice. And I'll play the Winter's Bite. Discard or pay 1.
Hmm. 3 in hand still.
3 cards in hand.
I'll pitch yellows if a hit on float.
Okay. I'm going to use Tunic. Voltaire and the Sarah. Choosing Go again. Okay. 3 cards. Take a call. 1, 2. Acting Incarceration give you 3 frostbites.
Yep.
Arsenal and pass.
Sure.
So you have 4 frostbites.
Sure.
Over to you.
So 4 frostbites, 2 resources. I could get mega punished for this. I'm going to do it anyway. High Octane. Pitching my blue.
Sure.
So no float. Frostbite's gone for a card. Let's go. Goliath.
Oh no.
Pitching my blue that I just drew. Boosting for 8. Go again. 2 action points remain.
So you have 1 float, 2 action points, no cards in hand?
Correct.
No card in arsenal.
No card in arsenal.
Is there a counter on the pistol at the moment?
No.
Okay, so this is 8.
Hum into a sea snail. Hum into a sea snail with the highest hopes. You will find it hollow.
I'll give you 3 with the sleep dart.
Yep,
Take 5.
sure. I'll activate Teklo Foundry, paying 1.
Mm-hmm.
Red Throttle, Red T-Bone. 2 resources float. Use 1 to load pistol and shoot for 2.
Sure. How many cards do you have in deck?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Plus the 2 I've pitched will make 20.
Sure. This is 2, and then there's 2.
Nothing came from singing but a tired throat. And I'll be anything you want me to be. I'll be anything you want me to be.
Uh-oh, I made a mistake.
I saw you at the seashore. Rocks at your ankles looking tough, and you're dirty in your clean hands. Wishful.
Sweet. So I'm blocking with the red fatigue shot.
Sure. Then I'll load pistol again, shoot for 2.
That 2 is good. Okay, 2.
Sure. And then I'll pass to you.
Missed out on a block there. 1 point of block. Yeah, so I should have realized there were going to be 2 pistol shots coming. I thought there was just going to be 1. 2 pistols would have taken us to 2, which means we're just not having fun with their pistols. Still got PhDs up, so you know we have a little bit of leeway. But I should have blocked the fatigue shot on the first attack. That would have given me 1 more life. Oops. So here we just have to hope that Sam doesn't block one of these endless arrows. He has to block at least 1. So yeah, hopefully we get him to put 3 cards on the table. That would be the best we can do here. We didn't really find what we needed in order to threaten the Blizzard Bolt. I needed another blue to get the pulse onto an elemental arrow. So yeah, this wasn't the blowout that we wanted it to be, but with these endless arrows, hopefully we can get something done. We'll see how he blocks.
So that turn was a very risky move for me because I had 4 frostbites, I had core coming, giving me 2 resources, and I had a blue and I had a throttle. And what my turn turned into was the best possible version of that turn. Essentially, my options were I could pitch the Octane and the Courier to play the throttle with or without the Goliath, and then I wouldn't have had any pistol shots on the end of the turn. If I played Octane and drew a red, I could not do anything with the turn. If I played Octane and drew a yellow, I could play the throttle the same as before, still without any pistol shot on the end. And if I played the Octane and drew a blue, I could have, like I did there, pistol shot on the end, or if I found Heart, pistol shot on the end twice because of the extra action point. I'm quite aware of my deck size at the moment, and you saw Diggle asked about it. But I think the 2 cards from the deck in exchange for the 2 points of damage I got through on that turn was worth it. But yeah, another thing to note is that with the Winter's Bite coming through, I had the option of pitching the Octane for instead of the Zipper hit, and had I done that, I would have had a surefire throttle for 8 into pistol for 2 on that turn. But that was before I knew the 3 frostbites were coming in addition. So again, pretty difficult to know exactly what's going to come up. But yeah, had that happened, I definitely would have taken that line of play it turns out I just got rewarded for by having a blue on top of my deck, which was very useful.
All right. Tick. Lexi shows Pulse, so you get a Frostbite. I get a Go Faster.
Sick.
Endless. So 4 go again from the Pulse, and 1 hit comes back to my hand.
2 cards in hand.
2 cards in hand.
And Voltaire, no times.
Correct.
Block with yellow Zipper Hit and Foundry Heart for 4.
Yep, very good. Voltaire and Endless Arrow choosing Go again. 4. 1 pitch float.
The killer. It's the killer. So the line is bounces back, then you pitch to load it again with +1. Pulse is free, correct?
It is. Pulse is only for ice and elemental attacks.
Okay, I was going to check that as well. So max total damage, no bullseyes, so it would be 8. Not lethal is what I'm hearing.
You're right.
No blocks.
All right. +1. So you take 4 from that one. And this is for 5.
No pitch.
No pitch.
No blocks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 1 Frostbite. Over to you. This comes back. And yeah. Kill me.
4, 2 resources. Pay 1 for red 0 to 60. Boosting. Go again.
Sure. This is a red.
Yep, 4.
We'll give you 4.
Sure.
With a tunic and a red fatigue shot.
I will do the same again. Go again. 4.
Or 1 card in hand.
1 card in hand, 1 float.
Okay. Okay, 1 float. Block 4 with the shoes and a blue cold snap.
Sure. I'll activate Foundry Heart. 2 blues, 2 resources. Zipper Hit, 5. Go again.
5, go again. I'll give you 5. An Endless Arrow and a blue Weave Ice.
Yep. Pistol for 2.
Take 2. Pretty good.
Unfortunately, you have lethal.
I do. Lethal is always nice. Yeah, that'll be 2 cards, I'm sure.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't have anything to say that turn. I just had to block out, or else you kill me.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Sweet. Do you want to have a chat?
Nah, it's all good.
Cool. Well, you know what it is.
Yep.
2 cards, please.
Spark and blue high-speed impact.
Sure. Yours.
Fish call. Blue throttle. 4. Go again. 1 float.
4 go again, 1 float. 1 card in hand?
No cards in hand.
No cards in hand. We like that.
How many cards are in your deck, by the way?
Good question. There are a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yep, gotcha.
And what are you down to?
5.
5 isn't very many.
Oh, 6. 6. I lie.
So this is 4.
Yep.
And you've got a pistol. Come on, Diggle. There is a line here. Yeah. 4 can go. Okay. Look, 3, take 1.
Sure.
Go to 1.
Pistol for 2.
Look, 3.
Yes.
So there's 1 card left in the deck, 4 in hand.
Yep. 2 in the deck because of the pitch. No, sorry. I had 6.
Okay.
And I pitched 1, so there's 3 in deck, 4 in hand.
Okay. Pulse.
Yep.
Crossfang for 9.
That is game. Here is 6. Here is 2 items.
Oh, unlucky. I mean, I've been measuring your pitch stack this entire game, so I knew those were coming.
I knew they were there as well.
Good game. That one went a lot rosier for me. I saw all of my 3 of a kinds like immediately.
Yeah. The frostbite you gave me was pretty impactful because I couldn't shoot an additional time on the second to last turn
True.
to take your horizon.
Yeah.
Which would have taken your endless as well.
Oh, and the pulse. Yeah, that would have been game.
I don't even know if I could have closed. I probably could have closed it out in the next turn. Yeah. So yeah, that 1 frostbite was.
Yeah, on the pulse flip. It's always great to hear the impact that a single frostbite has. Often we just let them loose, and we're like, "Well, I hope it did something."
Yeah.
I guess in terms of dash, you can always count it as a pistol shot. So one frostbite is basically just a pistol shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you make any massive mistakes that you were looking back on, or that you talked over afterwards, and were like, I can't believe I did that"?
There was a time where I played out 0 to 60 instead of arsenaling it, which means that if I'm then drawing to high octane, I have a better turn. It didn't end up mattering whatsoever because I did then draw octane, but it was also like the time I had the throttle and everything. And I did draw the blue, which meant it was just better to play the throttle anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But had I had that in Arsenal, I would have had better consistency with what I would have drawn had I been able to do a turn, even if I draw a red or a yellow or something. So that was a bit of a mistake that didn't really end up costing me. The start of the game, taking the 6 damage when you had the Blizzard Bolt coming through, I probably should have just blocked it. But it's hard to know, to be honest.
Which one was that? Was that off my 3 of a kind turn?
Yeah, the very, very start of the game.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Blizzard Bolt. You had shockies. You shocked twice on something. And I took a total of 6 damage when I could have prevented maybe 4 of it and not shot the pistol back, which I think would have been a better line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just on the arsenaling, the 0 to 60, from my perspective, it's much scarier when you have an arsenal. That means I have to start thinking about max velo, heaven forbid, or if you've arsenaled a high octane or something like that. When you have no arsenal, it's just a yellow 0 for 60 on the board, then that's an easy take 3.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's always better to have it in Arsenal than played out. But in the case of this game, it didn't end up changing anything.
I guess I am running Cold Snap. Maybe that's relevant. So
Is it ever something you aim to use?
if it's in my arsenal, it'll draw me a card, so that's nice. But yeah, it's always a nice to have. And again, like it's one of those things where it's a face down card. You never understand the impact that it's actually having. So
Yeah.
that's why these kind of conversations are actually really useful.
Yeah. Did you lost a point of damage? That was it? Was it?
Yeah. Oh no, there were mistakes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I lost a point of damage there because I just forgot about Foundry Heart that you could just pistol twice. So that was pretty annoying. On my 3 of a kind turn, so the one where I had the lake out, I shot Blizzard Bolt. I said no fuse to get some damage in because I thought, I don't know, I don't know how your brain was working with that, but I thought if I didn't present the second ice card, then you would think the channel leak will go away. There's no disruption this turn, so you can just take it.
Yeah, no, that was exactly the thought process. It was genius. Like
Cool.
I put that up in my chat. I'm like, that was very sneaky. He's very smart. And then you like pitched one and then fused with another one, and he actually had 3 ice cards instead of 1. Like,
Yeah, but I think that was the mistake. So I think I could have led you a little bit further. So the line was either saying no fuse on the second ice thing, or but at that point the second ice card in Arsenal would have been revealed, so you know the lake was going to be up.
Yeah.
Or I don't shoot the last ice vein. I think shooting the last ice vein was a mistake because your turn was blanked anyway. You had you had what, 2 cards and a channel lake on the board. So I don't think you were really doing anything. It's probably more valuable for me to keep that rather than give you blocks out of it.
Yeah. Is the ice vein in Arsenal face up? Can you ever play that as your first attack?
Nah, it's pretty awkward. So Pulse is the main enabler for that kind of thing. You saw that with the Endless Arrow, really strong. Otherwise, you have to use grapplers. But it's like you pay 2 and you lose the 2 blocks, so I rarely use it.
Yeah, no, I've always thought Purchase is not really for that.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, just having an Ice Vein sitting there is a bit more threatening because even as the last card, you kind of have to hold blocks for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, that was a cool game. There were lots of really interesting decision points there. I think I made more mistakes, to be honest. Yeah, those early 3 of a kinds weren't quite perfect. They're quite hard to manage when they come so close together.
Yeah.
You almost want them like turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, so you can arsenal the 3rd arrow to keep their 3 arrow turns more consistent. But hey, I mean, I can't complain. I saw them all really early, and that like put you way behind in the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really good game.
All right, it's getting dark. Look, we've had this dramatic like darkening around us. This is pretty cool. It's still light where you are, luckily.
Yeah. It's still only 4:30, so yeah.
Oh, no way. Bless. This was really cool. This was really fun.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, let me know if you want to have another one at some point. Maybe with some outsiders
I think
cards.
we will. I think we will.
That would be great. That would be really great. 1-1.
1-1. 1-1. Oh, I'm not going to live this down.
Yeah. There you have it. I assume you've watched the video. Time has not passed for me because I am still in the meeting booth. But hopefully time has passed for you and you've watched the rematch. There's been some clever editing. Just a note, if you want to ask me about any of the lines that I took during that game, I know I talked through a couple of them pretty briefly. Feel free to post in the comments. I can't promise I'm going to give you a very rigorous reply, just because going back and forth about what lines you took and why is pretty hard to do just verbally. So yeah, in the YouTube comments it's going to be even more challenging. So yeah, feel free to post any questions you have about the game, and I will try my best to respond, but I can't promise that I'm going to have a lengthy back and forth. This might be the last video that I'm doing for a while, just to manage those expectations. I do have some really interesting thoughts on Pro Tour. It was a really fascinating experience watching Lexi be the top deck at the Pro Tour, so I'd love to give you some color on the context from a Lexi's perspective. There were a lot of people looking at Lexi being like, wow, this is really strong. And there were some games where I think there were some questionable plays on camera. So I'd like to lightly go over those, but I would also like to issue a warning for anyone who's going to buy a New Horizon for $500 in the near future. I don't think Lexi can stay as the top meta pick. Anyway, I'll ominously leave you with that and probably not supply a follow-up video to justify any of those thoughts. Alright, catch you next time. Or not. Maybe this was the last one. Maybe this is the last one. Maybe I should take up gardening. I do like vegetables. Oh, this is cool as well. Yeah, whoa, it's so rock and roll. What is the name of my album?